Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. Hope everybody's doing really, really well. Just going to give it a minute, see who can jump on and hang out with me on this awesome day. Wondered what everybody has planned for the weekend. Drop it in the comments. Let me know what you guys are going to be up to. I actually do not have an art show this weekend, so that's pretty exciting. I will be doing nothing, but that's not true. My grandson is having his 3rd birthday party on Saturday, so we'll be going to that, enjoying some of the nice sunshine outside, relaxing. So I was going to jump on this morning and talk about the 6 things that I did this last year that really helped me have a very successful first year in my art business. We all know the saying, the starving artist, right? And when I quit last year, I quit a part-time interior design job. I talked to my husband, very frankly. I told him I was so unhappy with basically my entire career. I just could not find the right fit. And I wanted an opportunity to really just try at art. I never thought it could be possible because we always hear the starving artists. So I asked for his support, and we came up with a plan, a 5-year plan, so that if in 5 years I was still trying, originally we said a year, and I thought that's really not enough time, especially in the art business, to benchmark if you could be successful or not, because a year is not that long. So we then came up with a plan that so we went to 5 years, and I felt like that was definitely a sufficient amount of time for me to get my ass going in gear and make something of this. So that is still in play, 5-year plan. So I quit last year. My first year happened, and it was successful by what my standards were. What I set my goals to be, I reached those. So the 6 things that I did to do that. Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well out there. I see some people popping on. Just drop in the comments where you are watching from. So if we have anybody out of state, let us know how the weather is and where you're hanging out, what you're doing this weekend, what are your plans. So, and of course, if you have questions, drop them in the comments for me, and I will try my best to stay on top of those. So I posted a thing yesterday about quitting my job last year, and I got an awesome response from everybody. It was the support from Facebook and Instagram is just incredible. I seriously could not do it without all of you guys. I'm blown away, always blown away by how encouraging all of you are. It's just incredible. So I posted that yesterday, and I got such a great response. And I also had people messaging me about how I did it. So that's what spurred this idea to do the live this morning. I thought, sure, I could share what I did. Now, these were a little bit of trial and error. So they may not work for everybody. They may not be for everyone. Daisy. Sorry. My one dog is really, really nervous. She's a nervous Nelly. She's a rescue, and if a blade of grass outside blows in the wind, she is on top of it. She will let us know. So I apologize. Sorry. So one of the first things I did when I was going to get serious about my art is I sought out other artists. I joined organizations, and this is so important because there is such a wealth of knowledge out there. And I'm self-taught, so I didn't go to college or anything for art. So I was I still am extremely naive about the art world. And I'm constantly learning new stuff every day. So first thing, find your art group, find your organizations, join them. I know it's really hard, especially creatives. I don't know what it is, but we tend to hide We want to hide in the, we want to be the wallflower. Most of us, I shouldn't say that for everybody, but we want to create and not really be social. So you have to come out of your shell a little bit. So walk into those art organizations, sit down and observe and watch and listen and talk to other artists when you're ready. Find out what they're doing, how they're doing it, how you can get involved. Run for, run for one of the offices in the organization and just put yourself out there. It's not hard, and it's such an easy way to really start to propel yourself in the art world. It's crucial. So that's the first thing I did. And it was hard. It's hard, but to walk into like a room full of people who know each other all by yourself, and nobody has a clue who you are, and to put yourself out there. I know it's hard. So, but just do it. Everybody's awesome. They're going to welcome you with open arms. The other thing I did, I had said just a few minutes ago about telling my husband how unhappy I was, is I got my support system, right? I got my support system together. I knew this was going to be really, really difficult. So I made sure my husband understood how important this was to me and my children. And this will lead into the next thing I'll tell you, why this is so important. Not just because when you're working late hours and you're trying to hit a commission deadline or something like that, you want that patience from your spouse and your family. Not just for that reason, but for so many reasons. There's a lot of things that happen when you go into business on your own and when you're in the art business that change your life. So they need to be prepared. So I told him to please be patient. I knew that I wasn't going to bring money in the door right away. We were used to a 2-income family. So financially, it was going to be more difficult. I asked for his patience. I asked for his understanding. And he's been amazing. My son, too. My son is 11. So I asked for his patience and understanding and help. And then my 2 adult children, they're just great. So I told them about it, and my mom and my dad, everybody's been extremely supportive. So get a support system in place. Let people know that things are going to be changing. Let them know it's temporary and that they're going to be changing for the better. Because what's the saying? Happy wife, happy life. I mean, it's true. When you transition into this and you know it's what you want and what you're going to do, and it feels really, really good, even though at Thursdays it's extremely hard, in general, you are so much happier. So let them know that that's okay, and there's going to be struggles and that you're going to be down at times, and that's okay too. It's all part of growing and learning. If you don't have support at home, if your husband or your children are not supportive of this endeavor, respect that. That's okay. Some people don't adjust to change well, so it may take more time for them to come around to it. And just do your best to keep your day job if you have to, and work your evenings and balance that. So maybe your first year will be focused more on getting them on board with your long-term goal decision. So like I said, I was fortunate. Everybody's like, do it. So I have a ton of support. Not everybody has that, and I get that. So maybe that is your very first thing to do, is just instill that and slowly build that trust with your support, so your family, and let them know that things are actually going to be okay. Now, if you don't have that support system, the next few things that I tell you are going to be difficult, because they tied right into that for me. I started putting myself first. So for so many years, and I'm not trying to be like a martyr or anything, but I'm a mom, right? I'm a wife. So for a lot of years, I worked part-time because I had children, because I'm a wife. So I really didn't have a career. It was more like I took care of home, and I took care of the home and my kids, and my career was second. So, and that was fine. That's exactly where I wanted to be, and I'm okay with that. So to transition, once I decided I was going to do this for me and for my family, I had to think that way. I had to think about me first. So, and that's part of the support system. So it was a big change for my family to all of a sudden come home and maybe dinner's not made, dishes aren't done, the house isn't perfect, right? Because I was busy at the time. I quit. Okay, so no, even before I quit, it kind of started. But once I quit, I was so busy during the day working at my new job, which is commission work. I didn't have time. And it's weird for them because they think it's a hard transition because, and I think several people think that art really isn't work. So maybe, I don't know, I can't speak for my husband, but I'm sure there were times he came home and he's like, oh, she was here all day, she couldn't do dishes. But I really had to treat it as a job. And that's something too. Treat it as an actual job. From X amount of hours, whatever they're going to be, that's what you're doing. You're not doing the dishes, you're not doing the laundry, you're not cleaning the house. Put yourself first. And that's very hard for us, especially women or men who are the caregivers, because that's what we do, right? We drop everything to help everybody else. So all of a sudden, I needed help, and everybody had to support me, and that was very different. We had our ups and downs, we had our struggles, but we slowly worked out different schedules. So if something didn't work, we're like, okay, that's not working, let's try this. And we have worked it out. We actually have a really good rhythm going now. And that's going to tie into this part where I stopped doing housework. There was no way I could keep the perfect home and work full time. And because it's not that I just work full time, I work morning to evening, and I love it. So it's like I'm working during the day on my commission work, and then in the evenings or early mornings I'm marketing. So I'm constantly doing something, and I definitely have the freedom to interrupt my day and run my son to horn or piano lessons, or if I have to go to a meeting, I have that ability, but then I make up those hours in the evening. So housework went out the window. I did what I could when I could. A lot of times it was on the weekends, but my husband and my son picked up a lot of slack. We all kind of have special jobs in the home that we're responsible for to alleviate some of the stress, because it's just way too much. You can't do it all, and that's okay. Let's say this, you can do it all, but you're going to not do everything well. Okay. And my business has to come first right now, so that in 5 years I can show that, yes, I've done X, Y, and Z, and I can make a living at this, and we're good. So all of that other stuff, that life dust that gets in the way, literally dust and things on your cabinets, who cares? It's coming back. Even when you dust, it's coming back right away. Let it go. That was huge. And that was really hard for me because I was always a perfectionist. I always wanted everything perfect. Sometimes it's even hard for me to focus on my work when the house is in disarray, right? But I've gotten used to it, so it doesn't bother me anymore. If you come over and it's not perfect, I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not even sorry. Wear your shoes, put your feet up on my table, have a cup of coffee with me. Who cares, right? Let it go, guys. Let it go. Focus on what's important to you. When you go and you're sick and you're dying, are you going to think about the dust that's on your cupboards? No. You're going to think about the time you spent with your family and what you did with your life. So reprioritize what's important that way. If having the perfect home is important to you, by all means, go for it. That's not where I was. That's not where I am. So I needed to have peace inside and happiness. So my business had to come first, and myself. It doesn't change how I feel about my family and my kids and my grandchildren. I still love them as much as I did back when I made everything perfect. There's nothing like that that's changed. It's actually been better because now that I'm home and I have this schedule that I can be flexible with, I am totally available to my son all the time. I'm not out of the house. So if he needs something, he knows he can interrupt me and talk to me about it. And it's awesome. Our relationship has actually grown way, way stronger. And like I said, I'm able to run him out for lessons and stuff. On the plus side too, my husband doesn't have to worry about childcare or anything like that because I'm able to be home working and balance all of that and take care of my son simultaneously. Now, and he doesn't care about the house. He's like, nah, who cares? So what we ended up doing is we ended up just to help because, you know, your house can get messy and it can be a little discouraging. So we did end up hiring a cleaning service, and that has been probably one of the best moves. I know it can be expensive. So what we did is we really rearranged and reprioritized some things that we were paying out that didn't matter to us as much. And we were able to benchmark that money then for a cleaning service and lawn mowing because that took up almost 2 or 3 hours of my husband's time. So it's just a matter of kind of figuring out. So rather than eating out, you know, maybe 5 times a month or 6 times a month, we pay for a cleaning service. So it just try to reprioritize, and it just is such a huge burden lifted off of me and my family. It makes things so much more manageable. One of the other things I started to do is I started to say yes. And what I mean by that is I started to say yes to people asking me to do things in the art business. So for years, I spent time like being a wallflower, like kind of timid and not really putting myself out there because it's scary. So what I started to do last year is if somebody asked me to demonstrate for an organization in front of, you know, 25, 30 people on a technique or drawing technique or a painting technique, I said yes. I would immediately say yes because I knew if I thought about it, my fear would get in the way. And if I put too much time into the thought of it, I would say no because I'd be scared. So if somebody asked me to do something, I was like, yes. And then what would happen is later on in the evening or something, I'd be sitting there like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to demo, but I figured it out. And I said, okay, it's okay. You already committed. You're doing this. Figure it out. And you do. If they asked me to be president of Niagara Arts Guild, yes. I didn't know what I was doing, you know, but it's an opportunity. Why would I say no? Now, you know, had I thought about it, I probably would like, it's a lot of time. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared. I don't want to talk in front of people. I don't want to lead a group of other artists. But I didn't do that. I said yes immediately. If somebody wants to collaborate on something, yes. Yes, sure. You need my help teaching a class? Yes. You want me to teach some children? Yes. Just say yes if it's career related. Obviously, if it's not a good fit, you're not going to say yes. But just don't be scared. Don't let your fear speak for you. So before your fear can start, guys, stop. Sorry. Before your fear can come up and ruin that for you, say yes first. Just boom, yes, and practice it. Yes, yes, sure, absolutely, right? I did a lot of things these last year I never thought I would do. Now it's like I want to do even more. I want to do some public speaking and maybe help some other artists that don't know how to do something or aren't sure how to navigate something. I would love to be asked to do that. And I will absolutely hands down say yes. There's a lot of goals that I have this year that I will be saying yes to or actually going out on my own and inquiring about them and finding out how I'm going to do them. Somebody asked me if I want to illustrate a children's book. Yes. So I had a commission. I've had 3 commissions over the last year. I'm not going to say who. That I really had no idea how I was going to tackle them. But when they came to me, I said yes, because that's the only way to push yourself forward. And of course, I panicked after. after I say yes, I always like, oh, and I have my support system, my husband, and oh, honey, how am I going to do this? He's like, you're going to be amazing. Don't worry about it. You're going to think through it. You're going to be fine. And you know what? Sometimes I wasn't. I think my first demo at Niagara Arts Guild was so boring. It was like snooze fest. And that's okay, because I got my feet wet. I figured out what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do. And whatever. It's done and over with. But the other demos I've done since have been way, way better. So it all works. It all works out. It's all a learning experience. The last thing I did this year was I hired a business coach. As artists, we are not business people, right? We just want to sit in our studio and work all day. And we need to be business people. So you have to know the business. Even if it's not art, you need to know business in general. Learn about marketing, learn about keeping your books, pay your taxes, charge your taxes, get help when you need it, right? So I knew around February, March, I needed help. I needed to market better, and I'm not an expert in marketing at all. So I found somebody who could help me with that, and she did. She helped me tremendously. And I'm going to be, we've taken a mini break so that I can work on some other things, and I want to go back and learn other things. So I will always be reinvesting in a business or an art coach. I think that is vital. If you can't afford a business coach or an art coach, research it, read about it, do your own homework. That is, you have to know the business. You have to know business. You are not going to make it as an artist if you can't run a business. So it's like, I tell people all the time, it's 50% business right now for me and 50% art. I've got a lot of commissions and a lot of time that I need to spend drawing, but I also have to know and know your numbers, know your business numbers, know what you're making and what you're not making. Can't willy-nilly it. If you're looking to do this as a career, know what's going on in your business. That is so, so important. That's for everybody, but art especially. I mean, so many artists who are like, oh, you can't make money, you can't do it. And I'm like, you can. Yes, you can. You have to know the business end, and that's probably why they're saying what they're saying. If I just sat home and created art all day long and that's it, of course I wouldn't make any money. There's no way. You have to market yourself. So that's what I got. If anybody has questions, like I said, drop them in the comments. I will be sure to answer them. I hope this was helpful for anybody out there who, not just in the art business, but business in general, is thinking about striking out on their own. Just to recap, the first thing I did was joined art organizations, found people that had the like-minded people as myself. It's hard to do this on your own. I set up a support system. If you don't have it in your family, find it in your art community. Maybe you even co-op with somebody, right? And maybe co-op's not the right word, but you find another artist and maybe we share household duties together so that we can focus more on our art and growing our business. So why not? Why not do that? Why not start something like that? Have an initiative that supports each other. Maybe you do maybe you get a community of artists together who can rotate making meals, or maybe on a Sunday, all of you get together and make a whole bunch of meals and split them up for the week so that you're not tied up doing dinners. And this gives you so much more time to work, right? Free yourself up from that stuff. So find your support system, however it is. Maybe it's your mom and your dad and not your spouse. Don't worry about the house. Really, nobody cares. Nobody cares about your house. They care about who you are, what you bring to the table. Are you interesting? Are you fun? Are you trustworthy? What are you offering your friends and your family and the world? I don't care about your house. Well, I guess I care if it's really disgusting. But then I don't really care. I just might not come over as much. So stop with the housework. Stop obsessing about everything having to be perfect before you can work. We don't care. Just do the work. Focus on you. Put yourself first for once. Put yourself first. Once you start doing that, you're going to be happier and everything else will fall into place eventually. It's not overnight, but eventually. We're still kind of storming in the house. So we're still trying to figure out. We've got it down pretty good. But there's times where, of course, life takes over. Things get hectic and things get out of control. But we get right back into our routine and it seems to work out pretty good. And I think in the next year, we're really, really going to nail it. We're going to have a lot of really good balance and a lot of just pure joy and happiness. So, because we have literally freed ourselves up from the home. So it's been great. So put yourself first. Stop with the housework. Invest back in yourself that way. So if you need to hire somebody to do your lawn in your house, it's okay. You are not a failure. Okay. You just realize that you can't do it all and that's fine. And not only that, you're supporting other businesses. So you're putting right back into the system money. So that's awesome. You're helping somebody else. And then if you can, hire a business coach. If you can't, learn the business. Take some courses if you can at a local college or something. Do something to learn the actual business. I will constantly be learning the art business. There's so much to it. I will constantly be learning new ways to market. It's like this huge undertaking, and you just are never done with that. So that's very important. That's like the big one. Do the business end of it. So hope that's helpful for everybody. I'm going to let everybody go. Happy Friday. Again, let me know what you guys are up to this weekend. Let me see what I got here. I got a couple. Hi, Becky. How are you? I hope this was helpful for you too, Becky. Becky's another artist out there trying to make everything work. So, any questions? Does anybody have any questions for me? Doesn't have to be about art either. It can be business related in general. I'll do my best to help answer anything, and I just go from my experiences. So, Becky said yes. I know, right? This is weird. It says I have comments, but I don't see them. So I apologize if I don't see your comment. So that's it, guys. So I will talk to you later. Have a great Friday. Enjoy. Bye-bye.